What movies are you, or what projects are you currently working on, Eric?
Oh, God. The one that comes to mind that I like the most maybe is Stalked by My Doctor Part 5.
Oh, really, Part 5?
It's the fifth installment of a series of movies I've been making for 5 years now for the Lifetime channel.
Yeah.
And I play a doctor who likes young women and pursues them.
Really?
And some might say he stalks them.
Yeah.
He stalks them. He's crazy. He plays a crazy guy. And he always gets away with it. They were planning to do one, and it was so popular that they had to go on and on.
Right, the fifth one now. When I'm on the other side of the world in airports, everybody screams, "Doctor, Doctor!" They love those movies.
Really?
Oh my God, they're so popular. Yeah, it's funny.
They must be available there because he does get feedback from South Africa.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people get it on torrent or illegally or what.
No, we get it on Netflix and all those as well. So
okay.
Stalked by My Doctor series of movies. You'll love them.
I'll definitely go have a look and see what you're talking about.
We've done some pandemic-related films. It's very tricky because the filmmakers, things change with this virus so regularly. You don't want your message to be dated. Yeah. But several people are dealing with it. We did one called Pandemic Pillow Talk, and we did one called After Masks. Yeah. Both of them are really interesting, and those are yet to be released, but they are going to be released fairly soon.
Yeah, I can imagine there's going to be quite a few pandemic or COVID-19 the concept movies. It's going to be interesting. It's such a sad time that we're living in at the moment. It's put everyone back in such a separated families and just so drastic as well,
So drastic. Yeah. It's really like Twilight Zone. Very weird. But you guys, you have your family. We all have our pods, Yeah. And we've kept shooting. It's very different on set, but we've kept shooting. I can imagine.
So you have to go for tests regularly just to make sure that you can go on set itself? Because behind the scenes must be quite a mission, always wearing the masks and trying to breathe in that, and all the co-workers and the other actors. Jeez.
You can only have 2 people at each table, and it's just so different. Everything's different.
But it must also ruin the camaraderie in a way between all the staff and the crew itself.
It is just okay, thank you.
Yeah, it kind of does. You almost forget, sad. And you hug people. We work with the same people over and over a lot.
Yeah,
and it's weird. But on the other hand, everybody feels like we're in this together. So there is a kind of, it's not physicalized, but there is a camaraderie still.
Yeah, there is, and and I know all the crews everywhere, and they all know me. So hey, and we all have an understanding. We all know each other. We all know we're at work, and we all like each other. I love crews.
Eric is wearing on a lanyard around his neck. He's wearing his mask.
I saw that. Yeah.
Crews and South Africa. Let me just say, because we wanted to say this publicly for so long.
Best crew in the world.
The film crew on Free Fall was hands down the best crew we have ever worked with before or since.
Bar none.
We wanted to do a training. We wanted to film the crew, the film crew, and use it as a training film for other crews all over the world. Because, the attitude was incredible. People just were many steps ahead. They really worked with each other. They had a joyous attitude. It was calm. They were absolutely exceptional. And everyone on the film agreed. We've never seen anything like it anywhere. And then it's real weird when you're with a good crew, but with all kinds of drama. And you're like, you know what, guys, you don't know how this can be done. They could do anything. Everything there was, Eric's hairdresser almost fell off a cliff into a waterfall. They saved her. It was everything from the most basic to the most extraordinary circumstances.
Our locations every day was someplace possibly dangerous.
Okay.
And sometimes it was dangerous, but every day is it going to be dangerous again? Oh no, here we go. And odd stuff. And this crew took care of us as if we were their children. And
Really?
but they also set up. The setups were huge. And bloop, set up, done.
Amazing.
And they were nice.
Oh,
they worked very hard and very efficiently and very artistically well, and they were nice.
And Keaton, who has an ear for, of course, being a musician, an ear for languages, he learned Afrikaans. And to this day, he still practices and keeps it up. Because, of course, at the time, them being kids, some of the words were just funny, like sneezies, just different words that were funny. But he could speak. Some of the crews really had, different languages, and he could do the clicking and clucking.
Really?
And it was really amazing because it's musical.
Yeah.
It's actually musical languages. Really, this is your country is a very big part of our family's life.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the fact that you're giving us here down at the end of the world, which a lot of people don't look at South Africa with any bit of hope. They always see it as like a third world country gone wrong. And to have the compliments like that is actually really impressive. And awe-inspiring. So thank you so much. If I can, I'll try to track down some of the crew and I'll pass it on to whoever that I'll definitely send on your message to them. I think they'd appreciate that. But now with the crew, you say that you had all the clicking and the Afrikaans and all that. So it was a multinational crew?
Multinational, because many of them just spoke English. I mean, it was multinational for sure. Yeah. They were from lots of different parts of South Africa, and probably from other countries too, and also from Africa. But so there was a lot of different languages. I mean, it was just amazing that way. And for everything, they shared food with us and philosophy, and it's just, they really earned our respect instantly. One thing that was funny was, we don't have primates running around in the streets here. We have squirrels and birds and stuff. And we were so excited, iguana and stuff. We'd be so excited. And the people there they're like, what's the big deal? Don't you have monkeys running around in Los Angeles? We're like, no. I don't think they believed us because we were always so enchanted. And we gave all different kinds of food to the baboons. And they were very picky. Like they really liked banana best. That was real. They'd throw it back at us. If it was something that they kind of liked but not great, once we were feeding them so much and they knew us, they'd be like, no way. They'd throw it like, screw you.
They're crazy characters.
They're like people.
They're crazy characters. We're big animal people. They're very like people. Yeah.
No, definitely. Whereabouts was that? If you remember.
That was in
Johannesburg. So, in Johannesburg.
When we were in Natal.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's because the place where we stayed, it
was a resort. It was a resort.
Yeah, it was huge houses, bungalows. Yeah. And so it was very rustic. We were just right in the middle of the forest or something. And when we were I guess we were still there. We're driving on the English side of the street and stick shift. And so I drive the kids. There was frozen yogurt you guys had that was so good. It was tart. It didn't have any sweetener, but it was kind of far away. And I never could figure out the turn signal from the windshield wipers. So anytime I needed to make a turn, I'd start washing the window. And the kids would be like, which direction you want to turn, Mom? Because we see that you're washing the window, but no one knows you're turning, so you better fix this. But I learned it. On the other hand, we had so many adventures. Of course, we were upset by the shanty towns and the people with guns that, we wanted to fix everything that we possibly could. But now, where were we? Okay, we were in Johannesburg, and then they flew us in a little plane to this, it might have been Natal, this area that was freezing cold, for one thing. And there was no hot water, no heat where we were. Absolutely gorgeous, so lush green mountains, huge waterfalls, magnificently beautiful. We stayed in these cabins, and to this day, I don't know really where we were. Would that be Natal?
Was that up there by the Three Sisters, by the Three Nuns?
Maybe, I don't know, because I didn't know that Three Nun thing.
I think it was.
But as for the baboons in Johannesburg, I'm going to try clarify something here. You weren't in Joburg City Central, right? So you weren't with all the high-rise buildings and all that?
Oh, no. We were there sometimes, but not where we were staying. No.
No, we were staying.
So you must have been in one of the game resorts or Okay, so somewhere out a little bit further. Okay. Because, there's a lot of wildlife sanctuaries in South Africa and game drives and game lodges, which is amazing. For my birthday this year, my wife and I went to a place called the Lion and Rhino Park. And we just went for a little...
Yeah.
Did you go there? Jeez.
No, we didn't, but the kids did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Incredible.
So that...
Yeah, we sent the kids with some like guides when they do that. Yeah.
Geez, so that means you must have been around the area called the Cradle of Humankind, is what they've labeled it now. And
I'm going to find those call sheets and find out where we were.
if you can, that would be so interesting, because apparently the Cradle is where they say they found Mrs. Place, which is apparently the oldest known skeleton that is a humanoid skeleton. So it's part of the evolution between monkey and, so they say. So
I heard that. Fascinating. Wow.
Could have been amazing. So this is why you have to come back, so you can relive some of these places that you weren't able to. So it would be brilliant.
Have you been to California?
I'm going to be honest. I've never left South Africa other than going to Malawi and Zimbabwe. Just haven't been able to do that. So
it's a long flight. It's a long flight because we flew from New York to South Africa, and then the kids weren't sure if they wanted to join us. And they were young, and I never stay away from them for very long. So after 10 days, I flew to California, which is a really long flight. Yeah. And as soon as I got there, the next day they decided they did want to come. So I got back on a plane, and it's like a 27-hour flight or something.
Geez, so you had to go all the way back.
And flew all the way back. I got to tell you, I still remember the feeling. I felt like I was flying for the next month. It was just very weird. But so worth it. But it's, be prepared when you come here. It's a long way.
I don't mind that.
That was my favorite trip I was ever able to give the kids. That was my favorite one. Yeah,
Look, South Africa is...
It was a long trip. It was months. And it was also just fun, educational, and just enlightening.
We drove around in golf carts at the place we stayed in Jayburg. Everything was, it was a golf course. Now I'm remembering. And we drove around in golf carts to get to each other's bungalows and to get to the makeup trailer, stuff like that. Yeah.
It must be in the Cradle area because there's so many golf resorts and stuff there. That's incredible that you're literally around the corner from where I live right now. But we don't have elephants and lions and monkeys running in the city center. I just have to clarify that. Everyone thinks we have lions on our doorstep. Okay. But no, that's absolutely fascinating. So I'd love to share a lot more stories of yours or hear a lot more of what you've gone through. So maybe we'll do a follow-up interview one day and just tell stories if you don't mind one day. Before we end off for today, I'd like to know, is there any way that your fans can keep following you or my listeners can follow you or know what you're doing through Instagram or whatever?
Twitter and Instagram. Okay, so keep us on both. As is my daughter and as is Emma. And on Twitter, I always forget if it's at Eric Roberts or at Eric Roberts Actor, but it's either one on both Twitter and Instagram. We love for people to follow. Follow.
I'll definitely get all those links and I'll put them up on our show as well and also on my new website that I'm designing soon. So I'll get all of that up for you. And then is there one last thing? Sorry. Do you have any message that if you had to come across a brand new set of actors that are inspired by what you do, what is your biggest word of advice or message that you can give them?
Treat everybody they ever meet for the rest of their lives as if that person they're meeting is going to be their boss next week, because they could be. And even if they aren't going to be, if you treat everybody like that, everybody will like you. And if you're liked, you will have opportunity.
Wow. Okay. That is the most unique, inspirational message. I'll ask everyone that I interview about that. And a lot of them just say, work as hard as possible. But that specifically definitely touches home because I try to do the same and I'd like to get the same back if possible. So thank you so much for that. It really has an impact from my side. So yeah. All right. So, Eric and Diesel, thank you so much for joining me on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure and very eye-opening and quite interesting to find out what you've done and where you've been, especially when you came to South Africa and feeding the monkeys and everything was there. And I would definitely like to have a lot more chat with you if possible and see what else we can do going forward, and have you as a regular guest on our show if you're open to that.
I'm game. Let's do it up.
Brilliant. We'll definitely get you here as well, and we'll make sure that you can come to South Africa to be part of the South African landscape again, and try to teach some of us who are quite useless, especially me. So yeah. All right. But thank you so much again. It's been a complete pleasure, and looking forward to chatting to you very soon.
You too.
Thank you very much.